trying to get on Facebook Live for 8 minutes. I tried on Zoom, I tried the custom features, I tried everything, but I could not get on. So I am so glad that it looks like I am on now. Yay, yay, yay. I hope I'm in the right place. I hope I'm in the right group. I hope I'm there. So I will, oh yes, okay, Sheris, am I in the right place, Sheris? I see that you're watching. Susan, you're watching, great. But am I in the right place? Because I am not sure that I did it right. And I think that I figured out, this is what I did figure out. I did figure out how to flip my board, because Sheris, you can read my board now, right? Oh yeah, that's right. You can read my board. That's right. So, okay, so today, remember I promised you, remember yesterday we talked about the fear responses, right? And I wanted you to really work on the fear responses. Oh, by the way, my name is Rhonda Britton, and I am so grateful to be here with you today on Facebook Live. So excited to talk about the second part of what I call the Wheel of Fear. So remember yesterday, the first part of the Wheel of Fear, the thing that you're going to get the most awareness from, like, right? How do we become more aware? How do we start making changes, right? How do we become the person we were born to be? How do we live the life our soul intended, right? Well, we want to start becoming aware of what I call fear responses, right? And yesterday when we talked about fear responses, remember I said fear responses are like your problems. That's what you think. Like when you say, oh, I wish I could quit doing that, right? I wish I could stop doing that. Well, anything that you wish you could stop doing. So stop people pleasing, stop procrastinating, stop beating yourself up, stop getting overwhelmed, stop getting anxious. So anytime you're like, I wish I could stop doing that. Why do I do that? I wish I could stop. I want you to consider those as fear responses, okay? I want you to consider those as fear responses. And I'm going to make sure that my camera is straight here. So that is what fear responses are. And your job, in order to build your awareness, is to actually have as many fear responses as possible. So remember fear responses are what you think your problems are, and those are the things that you do when you are triggered, right? When you're triggered in fear. And again, you don't know it. You don't know you're triggered in fear. You just think, I'm doing that thing that I do. I hate that I do this, right? I hate that I procrastinate. I hate that I'm a perfectionist. I hate that I'm a people pleaser. I hate that I complain. Oh my God, I hate that I compare myself to others. I hate when I'm judgmental. I wish I wasn't like that. So all the things you wish you weren't like, remember, those are fear responses. And those are only happening because you were triggered in fear, right? And why were you triggered in fear? Because you were having a new thought, you were taking a new action, you were contemplating a new way of being. It could be anything. Like it doesn't even have to be conscious, okay? It doesn't even have to be conscious about why you got triggered. And that's why the simplest place to start on your Wheel of Fear, to get to know your Wheel of Fear, is the fear responses. And that's why, can you see it? Fear responses? That's why yesterday I asked you to write down as many fear responses as possible, because the more you know your fear responses, the more you're going to be able to see your Wheel of Fear and shift it and not be on it anymore. So I promised you that I was going to give you a second piece of the Wheel of Fear. And then tomorrow I'll give you a third, the next I'll give you the fourth, and then we'll move to the Wheel of Freedom. So that you really understand how the wheel works. Because once you understand how the wheel works, and then you do the work to really uncover yours, because yours is different than mine. Yours is different than mine. You and I don't have the same wheels, right? We don't have the same wheels. Everybody's personalized, unique, and individualized. So again, that's why I want you to write down as many fear responses as possible. And again, I'm having a difficult time making sure that you can see the board and you can see me. Let me move around a little bit. Oh, maybe that's better. Oh yes, I think that's better. Okay, so fear responses, right? Those are the things you think are your problem, okay? They are not your problems. Those are just fear responses. Those are just things you do that you're triggered by fear. It is not because you're weak or lazy or stupid that you do those things. It's not because you have no backbone that you do those things. And it's not because you're desperate that you do those things, even though it may feel that way. Why you're doing those is because you got triggered by your core fear, your core trigger, which we're going to talk about later. Right now, I want to talk about something else, which means I'm going to lower my camera. It means I'm going to have to change locations here. Oh yeah, can you see me here? I think you can see me here. Okay. Because the second thing, I want to do the next easiest one. I want to do the next easiest one. And the next easiest one are self-destructive behaviors. You see that down there? Self-destructive. Just like the fear responses are things we know because we beat ourselves up for them all the time, right? I wish I wasn't a procrastination. I wish I wasn't a people pleaser. I wish I wasn't like that. I wish I would complain. I hate myself when I judge. Oh, I wish I wasn't doing that. I hate when I blame other people. I hate when I compare. I wish I didn't compare myself to others. I wish I could stop that. Those are all fear responses. Now, let's talk about self-destructive behaviors. Let's talk about self-destructive behaviors. Self-destructive behaviors are those things, they could be the same as this, it could be the same as this, but it's more intensified. I mean, think about, and you know your self-destructive behaviors. You know when you are self-destructing, okay? So what are the things that you do when you're like, screw it, I give up, it's hopeless, life sucks, I'm not gonna try anymore. So when you wanna throw the baby out with the bathwater, what are the things you do in self-destruction, right? So I'll just name some of the things that I used to do in self-destruction. Don't do them anymore, but I used to do them. Suicide attempts, right? Used to do it. Drinking, used to do it. Get DUIs, yep, self-destruct. Date men that I shouldn't date, self-destruct, right? Oh boy, I think that's enough of the bad things that I've done under self-destruct. But self-destruct now might look at, like here, a fear response might be 6 cookies or a sleeve of Thin Mints of Girl Scout cookies, but here you're eating the whole box, right? Or maybe you get a second box out. Like here, you might eat half the pint of Ben & Jerry's fish ice cream, which is my favorite, by the way. And down here, you're eating the whole pint or maybe 2. So, right, it's the intensity. The self-destructive gives you permission. And I do want to say the word permission, right? This is giving you permission to act out, permission to leave yourself behind, permission, okay? So self-destruct, you do because you've given yourself permission to act out, beat yourself up, put yourself down to a greater extent than when you're in fear responses. Here, you wish you wouldn't do it. You hate yourself for it. You wish, God, why do I do that? I hate that. I hate that part of me. But here, you're like, you deserve that part of you. You loathe yourself, right? You're just like, screw it. I hate the world. I hate myself. Some version thereof. So self-destructive, like I said, might be similar to fear responses, but they're intensified, right? Here, you're isolating. Here, you don't get out of your bedroom and lay in your bed for 3 days, right? Here, you might become a workaholic, but here, you basically don't sleep, right? You're just working, right? So it's the intensity. Again, they might be the same behaviors, they may not. Up here, I didn't commit suicide or get a DUI or drink. Well, I drank a little bit. But down here, I drank, like I really drank, right? So fear responses, self-destructive. Self-destructive, again, the reason you give yourself permission to do that is because you have this feeling, which we're going to talk about in a day or two. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. So the fear responses are things you do that you already know you do. You hate yourself for doing them. You wish you didn't do them. Those are the parts of yourself that you want to change, that you want to get rid of, that you wish you could cut out. Again, the beating yourself up, putting yourself down, complaining, comparing, procrastinating, perfectionism, overwhelm, anxiety. And down here is now anxiety is tenfold, right? Procrastination is frozen. Procrastination's here's frozen or paralyzed. So again, self-destructive is the intensity. Might be the same things, might be different, but it's the intensity. So your homework assignment is to actually start keeping track of your self-destructive behaviors, because together we're going to build your wheel. We're going to start building your wheel, start giving you some context. And let's just say that it is normal when we're in fear to do our fear responses and self-destructive. But what we want to do is labeling them and naming them is that we can make a different choice and we can get on our wheel of freedom, which we're going to get to in a few days, okay? So your homework assignment, if you have not done your fear responses, again, remember, think of anything that you wish you didn't do. People pleasing, write it down. Overwhelm, write it down. Judging, write it down. Comparing, write it down. Frozen, not making decisions, write it down, right? Paralyzed, write it down, okay? So fear responses, think of those anywhere from procrastinating 1 to 6, 7, and self-destructive is like 8s, 9s, and 10s when you do it, right? You give up here. This is screw it, give up, hopeless, helpless, You're worthless. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter anymore. You say to yourself, doesn't matter. I might as well, right? How many people have said that in the last couple weeks? Doesn't matter anymore. We're in a global pandemic. It doesn't matter anymore, right? Completely, I have done that in the last couple weeks. I have had a Haagen-Dazs Ben & Jerry's, excuse me, not a Haagen-Dazs, a Ben & Jerry's fish ice cream. Truth, promise, Girl Scout honor. So fear responses and self-destructive. So your homework, as Kelly so graciously put in there, your homework yesterday was fear responses. If you haven't done that, please do. And your second part of your homework is to start labeling your self-destructive. The things that you do, that you give yourself permission to do when life is not working for you, right? So Kayla says, paralyzed, definitely. Yeah, paralyzed, totally, right? So you want to make sure that you start labeling those. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about maybe this one, and then the next day this one, and then we're going to move to the Wheel of Freedom. Because I don't want you to think that there's something wrong with you, because there's nothing wrong with you. It's just fear. And I want you to start seeing that so you can get some freedom around it, right? I want you to get some freedom around it. So Carolyn writes, haven't had Doritos in years. All I want are Doritos Ranch chips. Yeah, absolutely. Right? I don't really eat Ben & Jerry's fish ice cream, but I've had it over the last 2 weeks, right? I eat it like once every couple, maybe once or twice a year, but I kind of want it more right now, right? Just because we're feeling more unknown, we're feeling more isolated, obviously, for obvious reasons. We're feeling more uncertain. We're feeling chaos inside. We're feeling lack of center, and that's all normal, and that's normal. Doesn't mean that we want to stay there. It's just normal that we're feeling it, okay? So your homework, fear responses, label them, and label your self-destructive. And then tomorrow, we will start talking about this one, and the day after, this one, okay? Let's see, I think somebody, Bob says, I found from 2007, I found mine. Wow, have I grown? I love that, Bob. Congratulations. So you found your Wheel of Fear and Wheel of Freedom from when you took the class? Congratulations. And you have grown. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Lisa says, compulsive eating to soothe my anxiety. Yeah. And is it a 1 to 5 to 6 as a fear response? And when you get down to 7, 8, 9, 10, it's a self-destructive, right? If you have one, like, okay, I'm compulsive eating like one time and you do it for 5 to 10 minutes and you catch yourself and you stop, here, you can't stop yourself. It's just like, no, I can't stop myself. I can't stop myself. You have full permission. You give yourself full permission to not stop yourself, okay? All right, so that is your homework. Tomorrow we are going to look at core negative feeling, and the day after we'll look at the trigger, and then we'll move on to the Wheel of Freedom. So would withdrawing from friends be considered self-destructive? Yeah, Holly. Withdrawing from friends could be a fear response, but it most likely is a self-destructive behavior. This is the time we need to connect. That's why you're here with me right now, Holly, right? You're wanting to connect. And so you're withdrawing, you're isolating, you're keeping yourself away from the people in your life. I would say that's on the verge of self-destructive. Betsy says, just stop myself from eating Doritos. Well, look at you, Betsy. You're evolved. Emma says, I do the same thing. Bob says, thank you, Rhonda, for helping us. Absolutely. Absolutely, my pleasure. I love doing this. This is my joy and treat, my treat. See, I'm making this my treat. Carolyn says, addiction to YouTube is also a self-destructive behavior of mine. Okay. Well, I just discovered TikTok. You start watching those. Those things are fast, and you're just going ching, 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 ching. Oh yeah, TikTok can be destructive, as can YouTube, right? So set your timer. Set your timer, allow yourself to have a little treat, and then when that timer goes off, you turn it off. That's how you do that, right? When you're in freedom, but when you're in fear, it's really hard to do. Okay, what time tomorrow? Lydia says every day is the same, 5 p.m. Pacific. 5 p.m. Pacific, that's 8 p.m. Eastern. And of course, if you're outside the United States, I'm gonna let you figure out that time on your own, but it's 5 p.m. Pacific time in Los Angeles. And then please go to time zone converter, and you can find out what time it is in your time zone. So I always start at about 5. Today I had a little trouble getting on, but I usually start at 5. So again, this is, let's see, the Wheel of Fear. And every day this week, we're going to go through the Wheel of Fear, and then we're going to go through the Wheel of Freedom. So again, what's your homework? Go ahead, Kelly, help me out. Write that down. Your homework is to write down your fear responses, and then, of course, to write down your self-destructive. The more you write down, the better. The more you write down, the better. Not having few does not mean you're evolved. It actually means you're ignorant, remember? So we want as many as possible so we can actually start taking back our lives, right? Laurel says, someone above mentioned attempting suicide 4 times. Can we talk about safety and reaching out for those who might be at risk? I bet you know the people in your life. You may not, but I bet you know the people in your life that are at risk, are more fragile, are more prone to consider suicide or consider cutting themselves out of people's lives during difficult times because whether they're ashamed or embarrassed or humiliated or whatever feelings moving through them, don't think they're worthy, etc. I highly, highly suggest that you email, text, call anyone that you think needs support that does not have a support system, and or they have a support system but they may cut that support system off right now because they feel embarrassed, ashamed, humiliated, unworthy, etc. It's our responsibility to do that. If we're on this call, that means we're more awake and we need to actually reach out. I am contacting a few of my friends every day. I make sure that I stay in touch with them every day because there are some people that I know that live alone, and I might be the only person that contacts them that day. Now, other people are contacting me and connecting with me because they know I live alone. Well, with Jezebel, don't tell her I live alone. That will hurt her feelings. So, right, me and Jezebel live together. Jezebel's my cat, for all of you that don't know. So there are people that also reaching out to me and checking in on me, which I am grateful for. I am grateful for that. That's amazing. I love that I'm loved like that people are checking in on me. And I love that we're spending this time together too. This is really supportive for me as well. So Christy Marie says, I'm going to give, set your alarm. That's right. Terry says, playing solitaire on the computer. Kelly writes 5 p.m. Pacific. Yep. Linda says, I read your book during my divorce and moved to a new state, and it helped me tremendously. You're welcome, Linda. Congratulations. Now it's time to go beyond the book and do the work, right? Do the next level of work. Write down your self-destructive behaviors. Emma says, if anyone feels suicidal, they can talk to me. And of course, remember, we have the Fearless You Facebook group, and I'm going to be doing a class there on Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific. We're going to be doing a class over at Fearless You Facebook group. So get on over there so you can take advantage of that class as well. Lynn says, I'm so thankful that I haven't been suicidal in 5 years. Oh, me too. Oh my gosh, I'm so thankful. Jezebel's a cute name. Thank you, Lynn. Tom is watching. Kelly says, a little of anything is okay. It's when it's an extreme amount. Yep, that's self-destructive. Bob says, cats are comfort. Oh, absolutely. Patty says, I'm grateful for you and my kitty Tuna and my cat Tuna. Yeah. Carolyn says, revisiting this will totally support me coming out of my dark period. Yes, you've had a lot of transformation, Carolyn. You've had a lot of shifts. So, okay, everybody know their homework? Fear responses, self-destructive. And then meet back here tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific. And we're going to go to the next part of the wheels, right? And then the day after, we'll do this, and then we'll move to the Wheel of Freedom, okay? All right, great work, everyone. Make sure that you write down the one thing that you got from our talk today. One thing that you got from our talk today. I love to see what you got from the talk so that I know I'm giving value. So what's the number one thing that you got from our talk today? The number one thing, go ahead and write that down. Tell me the number one thing that you got from being here with me for the few minutes we've been able to be together. So tell me the one thing I want to hear from you, okay? So one thing, what did you get from today? Do your fear responses, do your self-destructive, meet back here at 5 p.m. Katie says, my anxiety's been sky high through this pandemic going on. I'm so nervous to get groceries because I'm afraid that I'm going to forget to properly clean stuff. I absolutely get that. In the Fearless You Facebook group today, I got my groceries today, got them delivered, was able to get a delivery after many days and many attempts. And I actually talked about how I cleaned my groceries. So go on over to Fearless You Facebook group and you can see the video that I made while I was doing my groceries, right? Melissa says we're here to support each other. Terry says support and connection. Doreen says one step closer to wholeness and action. Lynn says, thanks, Rhonda. This is awesome. I was reminded of how much my animals support me. Bob says, appreciate the small things. Deanetta said, awareness is the first step. Awareness is everything, right? Okay, I'll see you back here at 5 p.m. tomorrow. And we'll go to the next part of the Wheel of Fear. Until then, be fearless. Thank you. Be fearless. Thank you.